So I am down at the range and I just got rid of a scrap Jeep that we had shot up in a video. Definitely check that one out. Pretty interesting. We're actually bringing in some new cars, so subscribe to the channel and check that out because we're going to be shooting them with a wide variety of calibers and some interesting scenarios. But today we're actually on a pawn shop find video and it's just me flying solo. I've got a gun in the collection that I really don't want anymore. I'm thinking about trading it out. And the last time I was at Shooters Express in Belmont, they had some really good selection. So I'm gonna head there first, check it out, see what we can find, maybe do a little trade-in, and then we'll continue the journey and see if we find anything else today. But let's hop in the car, go for a ride, and see what we can find. Just pulled up to Shooters Express. We're gonna head in and see what these guys have. One of the reasons why I love Shooters Express is the fact that they've got everything from big bore revolvers to competition guns and hard to find new guns. They also have a ton of things hanging from the ceilings, including this M1A that was pretty darn awesome, as well as a lot of lever actions, whether it be big bore or even 22s, as well as precision bolt guns and a ton of other things. Now, my favorite part about them is the fact that they've got an entire used cabinet located at the back of the shop. On top of that, they have a buyer's club that you can pay to enter for a yearly, a bi-yearly, or even a lifetime membership that gives you really deep discounts. Now, the first thing that I saw when I walked in was this SIG 226 Legion, and you can see the price on this thing is really good, but after the buyer's club, it's right at about $750, so this immediately went into the hold for me section while I continued to look through the shop. It was just absolutely beautiful. Another cool thing was the fact that it did come with that Legion coin, 3 mags, and the box. It's kind of hard to find them as a set for that type of price anyways. They also have some very interesting surplus guns in here, and the used counter actually goes through guns a lot because they have good prices. And in particular, this GP100 had a little surface finish issues, but it was right at about $415, which is almost unheard of. And today they and in particular had just a lot of revolvers. I just thought it was cool that they had a ton of different revolvers to take a look at. And I'm on a revolver kick right now, so it was nice to dig through. They also have a ton of new and used shotguns and rifles over on the right side of the shop that I dug through. Couldn't quite find anything, but that SIG was definitely calling my name. So we went to sign up because my buyer's club actually expired. Signed up for that again and grabbed that one. And while we were doing the paperwork and they were finishing up, I looked through this kind of fancy case over here. We're leaving Shooters Express. I picked up that SIG 226 Legion for a really good deal. They also took my Colt on trade for this guy, so worked out perfectly. Now on to the next place and maybe down to the range. Just pulled up here in Shelby, North Carolina. Can't film inside, so we're gonna keep looking at different places. Here is a little collectible shop, looks like. Jake's Knives and Antiques and Collectibles. We're gonna pull in here and see what this is about. One of the very first things I noticed about this shop was this really cool old machinist toolbox. Now, it didn't seem like the exact version of the Harbor Freight one. It seemed a little bit better quality, a little out of my price range though. I continued to dig through the shop and saw a ton of different knives and coins and actually asked the owner to start pulling out some bins he had stacked behind the counters to dig through. I thought that was pretty neat. Now, a lot of the coins were just a little bit too much for me to buy. Silver's a little bit tricky right now, and we talked about that in one of my other videos. If you're interested, you can definitely check out some of my more preparedness and gear-related videos on my second channel, where I go over a lot of that stuff. But we went through. They had a lot of case knives, which I thought were pretty slick. Again, just a little bit too much for me to spend. No great deals on any case knives. And they also had a lot of fixed blade knives and unique and interesting antiques, which I thought was pretty darn cool. Now, as I was digging through some of those back bins, I actually found a couple of old timers and some interesting coins, so we may grab some of them. And I kind of finished up looking at the rest of the shop, including some interesting little antique things and boxes and wooden crates and stuff. But, you know, nothing struck my fancy other than those coins as well as that old timer knife. Definitely a cool little shop. Got an old timer knife and some painted quarters for about $8. So really just wanted to grab the painted North Carolina quarter because I thought that was pretty cool. But very interesting little shop and had a lot of cool stuff in there. So I am down at the range, and this is what we got, the SIGS 226 Legion. And I already have this gun in single action only mode, but I wanted it in its true traditional form, which is the double single action 226. We also stopped at Jake's Knives, and they had some interesting knives. Like I said, I got all of these painted quarters and this knife for right at about $7 or $8. I was really just interested in this painted North Carolina quarter because I thought it was cool, but I know these aren't worth much. But when you consider I got $1.50 worth of quarters and one of the old-timer knives for right at, like I said, $7 or $8, not too bad. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Would you want to see some flea market find videos, some antiquing and pawn shop find videos where we grab knives and coins and EDC items? I'd love to hear it, but let's take some shots with the 226 to see how it performs. First up, we're running some Callaway Ballistics 124 grain hollow points. And these are my very first shots out of this pistol. Well, this thing is an incredibly smooth shooter. I've fallen in love with it already. It was in beautiful condition, and for right at about $7.50, hard to beat. A huge shout out to Shooters Express in Belmont for letting me film there, as well as all the other shops I film at. I ran into a lot of shops today that wouldn't let me film inside, so I just don't personally shop there. They may be great shops, but I just can't spend my time in there right now when I'm making videos like this. So if you guys like seeing these videos, definitely support the local shops if you can, if you're in Belmont, Matthews, or Shelby, North Carolina. But enough talking. This was just a great little trip, a lot of interesting finds. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.